Mourne Dew. It's new, but is it for you? As you all know, I did an uncorking of this a couple of weeks ago. Now I've finally got round to doing the full in-depth review. And it says here, the essence of Mourne. So why is that relevant, particularly to the likes of me? Well, I'm bringing you this review from the Kingdom of Mourne. And where this is made is just like, 12 or 13 miles down the road from where I live. And I was brought up in Kilkeel, which is known as the capital of the Kingdom of Mourne. So, this is an aptly described whisky, and it's one that someone like me needs to review. And as I say, it's new. So what do we know about it? It's bottled at 40% ABV. It's triple distilled. Interestingly, it says it's non-chill filtered, so it's a blend of pot still malted barley whisky and the finest grain whisky. Now, in the back of the bottle it says here, from the mansions of the mighty to the open hearth of the humblest courtier, a distilling tradition has been woven into the very soul of our island identity. The first legal distillery to operate in the Mournes for many centuries, we are the inheritors of a distilling tradition that has endured through the tumultuous history of this great island. Mourne Dew started off in 2018 and they were producing gin. A range of gin which goes down very well. It's very popular locally and further afield. Haven't tried any of it. As I said the last time, I'm not really a gin fan. The wife is, not me. And they've also done a couple of poachings. I think they do a hazelnut flavoured one and one called the Puka, which I have had. Both are available locally here in Annalang where I live. And I have to say, the Puka one that I had a few weeks back, I was pretty well impressed with. Considering that if you're a whiskey drinker, poaching is probably not your thing because it doesn't have the same nuances, it doesn't have the same complexity or the same level of flavour. But for something that has just been in the barrel for 10 weeks, I have to say it was very good and it's worth a try. But anyway, with that said, we're talking about the Mourne Dew triple distilled here. They do a single malt which is bottled at 43%, which I will get my hands on in due course and bring you a review of that. But just let's get on with this one right now. I'm going to start off in the nose as usual. I will assume that most of you guys watching this probably don't have this because it's relatively new and I've only seen it locally here in Annalang. But if you do have a pour of this, please get yourself a dram and share it with me. If not, well, just pour yourself another Irish whiskey and we'll have a drink together and enjoy yourselves. So here's to you guys. Sláinte. Right off, it's floral. There's light black currant in there. There's grain, it's malty. There's a bit of earthiness in there, a wee bit of brininess too, and there's a bit of peat coming in as well. Now, a subtle vanilla does come poking through there, and then it turns into a more distinct sort of a toffee aroma. But now here comes that peat again, and it does give a nice twist. It's more than a touch of peat, it's reasonably distinct. But it's not in any way overpowering. In fact, what it reminds me of here is a Loch Lomond 12. Now, it's not at that Loch Lomond 12 level, but if you've had a Loch Lomond 12 where you know there's a nice bit of peat, fruitiness, floral nature going on, you'll see where I'm coming from once you get this. Very similar, but at different levels, but you will know when you eventually get this. And this is coming through again with a wee bit more peat. but at the same time, as I've already said, that peat is nicely balanced with those lighter, fruity, floral notes. If you don't like peated whiskey, don't let this put you off, because it's very subtle. It is there, it's distinct, but it's not in your face. It's not a big peat head punch in the face. It's not smoky, peaty, that's going to really put you off. It's there. It's recognisable, but at the same time, there's just that nice balance with the other flavours and aromas that just makes you want to dig in more and get right onto the palate. So that's what we'll do. Sláinte. Now it's very chocolate orientated initially. Wee bit of spice, bit of cinnamon, dark toffee, and then here comes that earthy peatiness again. There's even a wee bit of rye coming into play as well, but again, that very definite peaty element is very much there. But as I've already stated on the nose, and that is not a big peat head peat. It's very subtle, while distinct, but it's balanced nicely with the other flavours. It's, how could I put it? It's like more of a light peat with a touch of floral influence. Some blackcurrant coming into the mix again, and then that cinnamon sort of dies down and it becomes a nice mix of white and black pepper. Now as it develops on the palate, as you get into it a wee bit more, it becomes a wee bit lighter. The peat's still there, but there's some fleeting vanilla in there. Toffee comes into play once again. Gets a wee bit stronger, it's more treacle-like now. And then once again that earthy peatiness comes in. There's a wee bit of dankness in there, like what I would call a good dirty whiskey. Not as much, obviously, as some of the high-end ones I like, but for an entry-level triple distilled blended Irish whiskey, that element there of earthiness, of even a bit of just natural well-made whiskey is there, and I have to say I'm really liking this so far. And when it comes to the mouthfeel, it's creamy, it's rich, and as I said in the last video read this and the uncorking, it is smooth for a whiskey that is young, just about 3-year-old. I would imagine, saying it's the first from the distillery. I have to say I am well impressed, and what impresses me most is the fact that it's just a wee bit different than other entry-level Irish whiskies. You've got that nice peaty earthiness coming into play. You've got the normal floral, fruity elements that you would expect in an Irish whiskey. More smooth than normal. A really nice mouthfeel, but that peatiness just balances so really nicely in with the rest. Recommended retail price, 30 quid. I got it for a couple of quid less. You can get it up in the local bargain store here in Anlan. Hopefully you can get it further afield in Northern Ireland, and hopefully overseas in due course. I have to say, it really is one that has impressed me, and in terms of a score, because of all of that I've said, and the fact that the finish does go on nicely, and it brings out those earthy, peaty elements, and then finishes with a nice like sort of a char, a chocolate, a coffee element, and really does leave a nice feel on the palate. I'm going to have to score this, an 84.5. I am looking forward to trying the single malt, which is bottled at 43%, because this is damn good stuff. Really do like it. And you know what? This bodes well for the future of a distillery. And if you're local, pop up to the Barbican Long, pick a bottle up. You got to support the local people who are bringing us new products, because that's what it's all about. Big companies out there doing mass production, you got to go support the local people, and I don't think you'll be really disappointed if you get this, particularly if you like a wee hint of peat in your whiskey. Now, as usual, all the relevant links are down in the description below. I hope you enjoyed the video, folks. Please let me know your thoughts, comment, smash that like button, and if you haven't already subscribed, please do. I really appreciate it. And once again, thank you guys for your support. So until the next time, please stay safe, look after yourselves, look after each other, and keep on drinking your whiskey the way you like it. Sláinte. Thanks for watching, folks. I really do appreciate it. Please check out these other reviews, and if you'd like to support the channel, the best way is by subscribing, liking and commenting. And don't forget to ring that bell for all video notifications so you don't miss out on any future content. Cheers.